welcome to Season 1 of the Texas Dirt Track Stars of Tomorrow podcast, featuring the latest and greatest young guns moving up and making an impression in the Texas dirt track racing scene. And now, here's your host, Mike Fortier. Hey folks, how you all doing? We started this show on time, but me and my age, perhaps my age, I don't know, I just never went live. So we're 20 minutes into the show. We're going to start all over again. I'm sorry. If any of you still hung around to get this far, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But in any event, here we go. I want to start out by saying thank you all for watching. I've had some pretty good reviews, pretty good comments. People seem to like this pretty well. Its purpose, as I've said every other show, I like to try to feature drivers that don't necessarily get the level of attention that they deserve. If you're not very, very well known, you're not going to be on podcasts or shows or anything like that. So hopefully this will give you a chance to all do that. I also want to thank 3D Landscaping for helping us promote this show a little bit. Any of you other business owners out there interested, it's cheap, very cheap, extremely cheap. We'll put your logo out there. Appreciate it. So without any further ado, this gentleman driver that we've got tonight is a friend of mine. I've known him for a few years. He's runs his own business. He's out of Mason, Texas. He's been around racing quite a bit. He's run the truck series since the very beginning. In fact, he was the track series champion the inaugural season. So here from Mason, Texas is Mr. Larry Cowboy Baggett. How you doing, Larry?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Good. Seems like we've been here and done this before.
That's okay. Good things takes time.
How stupid of me. I think I've done everything else wrong that you could imagine except that. So we're live.
That one's behind you now, so you don't have to worry about it no more.
It is. That shouldn't ever happen again, but it probably will. But so let's see. How's your season been, Larry?
It's been really good. We started off, had a pretty good crash, but we got the truck back together, and ever since then, it's we've been up in the top 5 and won a few races, won a few heat races, and actually doing really well. Toward the end of the season, we're kicking on up there pretty good.
Yeah, good. How many years you been in the truck series? How long have they been around? 5 years?
Since
2019. And you won the championship for that season, right? For the Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure
did.
And it is the Texas Dirt Truck Series we're talking about, folks. In case I forgot to say that. But so your last race out. Tell us a little bit about that one. That went pretty well.
It really did. We were at Cleveland 105, and the track was just, man, it was phenomenal. I love that track. I love the way it handles. I've always liked the banking on it and everything. I think it's a fun track to race.
Yep. I like it. Does that track kind of run uphill a little bit? Going up?
It does, and it kind of dips a little bit, which I really like. You can get your speed on it really good and never let off pretty much.
Right.
Those guys do a phenomenal job on their prepping their track and everything. I mean, Of course, all these promoters, hands down, they deserve a round of applause because they don't have to do it. It's not their full business, like we had talked about before.
Right.
They do it because they love to do it too.
That's right.
And I'm just thankful that they give us a place to race, especially from the Texas Dirt Truck Series. We love racing at all the tracks that we could possibly run at.
105 is. I don't know a lot about it. I've been up there once, and I was 2 years ago. I was invited up for their Texas Grand that they run every fall.
Hmm.
Uh, but as a guest in West just to hang out, see how it's all done, learn all I could learn. And I was super impressed with the track. They've done a lot.
Mike, we're having a hard time hearing you, buddy.
Are you hearing me now? Well, Jesus, this is a jinx show. Hang on.
There you go.
You got me now?
Still having a hard time hearing you.
I'm sorry. This is stupid. Hang on. Is that any better, Larry?
There you go.
Still good?
Yeah, you're good on my end.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Who knows? So anyway, yeah,
Everybody has technical difficulties, even us on the track.
tonight's crazy night. I'll tell you that. So yeah. Anyway, so it's a great track, and those folks do a great job up there.
They really do.
Short track promoter of the year last year, I believe. But it's good. But no discredit to anybody else either, because I know all these tracks are putting a lot of time and effort. Their staff, the folks that are backing them, so that we can have a place to race, and it's just amazing. There are a lot of tracks around here, really.
There are, and like I said, I can speak for the Texas Dirt Truck Series. To every promoter that gives us an opportunity to race at their tracks, we appreciate them. I mean, they hands down, they all work their butts off to get that track ready for us, and
they sure do.
And they usually put on an awesome show the whole time.
Yep.
Their staff is phenomenal. Also, I mean, they're from the crews to safety crews to the ones that are preparing the food out there in the grandstands and all, and the fans that are in the grandstands.
Yep, it's a lot of work, no question about it. Everywhere you go, it's the whole sport is a lot of work. Whether you're on the driver's
side, a lot
side,
of dedication.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. Take a look at your truck here. Let me pull this picture up. Tell us about that baby. She's pretty nice looking rig there, Larry.
It's a 05 Chevy truck body. It's on a metric frame.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a 602 crate motor in it, and I've had this truck for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got this truck, of course, it was fast from the beginning, and
Right.
I just took me a little bit to get used to this truck, and climbing out of my championship truck and into this one, two totally different trucks. They drive different. The setups are different. Now that I've found out the sweet spot on this thing, we're getting along pretty good now.
Yeah, good. Well, it looked good. I mean, I watched the video from Race On from Saturday night up at 105. Wow. I mean, you just smoked them.
I was shocked that it took off and handled the way it did. I was not looking at running away from the field like I was. I mean, I had no idea I was that far ahead of anybody.
Yep.
I kept looking over my shoulder trying to see who was going to try to pass me.
Yeah. You were so far out front towards the end that you probably didn't even hear anybody.
I didn't, And then when I started coming up on the lap cars, I started thinking, what the heck went on behind me?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't for sure.
Right. We got a little bit video I put together, some of those highlights, Larry. If you don't mind, why don't we play that? It's a couple of minutes
Okay.
long. We can talk through it and tell us what you think as it goes.
Supposed to be Leo Sasso and Buster Dean, Eric Ramos, Larry Baggett, Colton
You got
Borlace,
it.
Tommy Grimes,
You
James
got a really
Green,
good
and
start
Tony
here,
Bernal,
too.
your field.
Yeah. When I'm really when we first started out, I tried to go when everybody else goes and not sleep at the wheel.
Right.
And
Right.
when Buster took off, I was right there behind him.
Yeah.
And he went out up the track just a little bit, and it actually gave me enough to get down there on the bottom and go around them.
Yeah, right
And
there in turn one, you can see you're getting under him.
yeah, and he come down, he blocked me, and I backed off, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to try to go on the outside. And the next lap I did, and man, when it stuck on the outside, I was like, oh man, we got a strong truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got past them and took off, I was expecting Tommy and Eric and Colton to come on up behind me because those guys are strong.
Yeah.
We got a good field of trucks this year.
Yep, you sure do. So here you are. Let's see, 5 laps in, and you're leading him, still pulling away by what, 8, 10 truck lengths? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could actually put that truck on, down on the bottom, in the middle, and it just I never had to really let off the gas. It just and I was scared to let off the gas too because, like I said, we got a really awesome truck series. The guys, from Tommy, Eric, Colton, Tommy, Tony, those guys. I mean, they're up there with us all the time, and
Yep.
know,
How many trucks you got registered in the class now?
I think there's probably about 15 or 16 trucks.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's a lot of fun when all of them are there on the track too.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a couple of young guys that are coming up in the truck series. I've been racing with them for a couple of years now. Colton's he's figured his truck out really good this past year.
Right.
He's really fast and competitive. I'm just waiting for his win to come along, and it will.
Right.
And Eric is another one. He jumped in this year, and my God, he's done phenomenal. He's done really good. I think he drives a factory stock also up in South Texas.
Yep.
But he's a really good guy. He's fun to hang out with. All these guys they just treat you like family.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the good thing about this truck series. You get in a wreck or whatever, and everybody's there jumping on top of you, just trying to figure out what can we do to get you fixed, get you back out there.
Well, it's a unique class, and it's I think all the guys that are racing it are unique in their own way. They don't all necessarily come from a strong background in racing. A lot of them are just kind of starting out here. I know you've got a few drivers like yourself that, you've been around a long time. But to jump into this truck series, to me, it's altogether different. I mean,
it is.
Getting the trucks to handle your rear weight ratios, percentages, and it's so much different.
It is. We got another young gun that came in, and I think you did an interview with her last week or two. Evident she's man, every race she's getting better and better. We're proud of her. I mean, she hung in on this one, boy. I tell you what, she held her line. She done a fantastic job on this from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And
she is doing good.
It's this truck series is growing big, and it's getting very, very competitive. There's not one truck out there that can't win any of these races.
Right. Right. Do you know this fellow, Larry, that made this comment here? Nick Bartram?
Oh, yes, that's my cousin.
Okay. Well, he says, hold that skinny loud pedal down, baby.
He was there with me at 105, and that was his words. They helped me set this truck up, and
Yeah.
I couldn't thank them enough to be there with me, and it meant the world to me too. So
That's good. Thank you for watching too, Nick. I'm sorry we were late getting going, but thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting too. Appreciate that. Well, what you got? What you got lined up as far as the rest of your season, Larry? I mean, how many races you guys got left?
well, we were supposed to go to South Texas. We're not going to make it because of the rain that's moving in.
Right.
They canceled those races, and those guys are on top of it over there too. Promoters, we were talking about them earlier, and Owen has done a fabulous job over there and getting word out. Hey guys, we're going to have to cancel this race, which helps us because we can cancel our hotel reservations and stuff like that. And, especially for us guys that live far away.
Yep.
But I think from that point, I believe we've got one in 37 coming up. And I know we've got one in Edna that we're going to be racing, I believe. And then Cotton Bowl, which I'm looking forward to that one again too. I love that track also.
Yep.
And of course, I'm ready to go back to 37 too and see if we can win another one. And last time we were there, we won that one also. And thanks to like I was saying before, this truck series is like a big family. We went in and I was having brake issues with my truck, and Tommy and his crew jumped in right after my heat race, and his guys started working on my truck to help me get it fixed. And we figured out the brake issue, and we actually welded a piece and temped it so I can make the race. And we winded up winning that race, and those guys are, they've been around racing for a long, long time. And it just proves the family oriented that the truck series has.
And everybody, all those guys know that if it happened to them, you'd be there to help them. And
that's exactly right. If I had to take parts off my truck, by God, I'll take them off if I can't race.
I know it, Larry. It's pretty incredible. That's a great bunch of guys.
It really is, and the sport's growing. It's a really awesome sport to be in, no matter what. I mean, there's a bunch of good series out there. I lucked out and started in the truck series, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yep. It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Michael Hallmark, you know him?
I do. That's my son-in-law.
He says, "Let's go, boys."
He was there with me on that win too.
Yep. So, what are you going to do next year? Same thing?
I am. I'm actually I'm going to try to make more races next year. I think we're going to try to run for championship again next year.
Good.
And I've also, my old truck, I'm going to put it together, and I think we're going to try to run the street stock class in that also.
With your older truck?
With my older truck.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know you still had that truck. Good.
I do.
Good. You got a motor for it?
I do. It's actually sitting in front of the truck, and of course my cousin keeps telling me when we're going to put it in.
Yeah, just drop her in and go. All right. Right. Well, that's cool. What do you think of the fireball class at 37? Quite a few of you guys come down and run with them.
I actually like that fireball class. It kind of reminds me of the old street stocks. That's one reason I'm putting this other truck together too.
Yeah.
I really want to go out there and play with those guys. You know, some of the
Yeah.
AJ Dancer, you know, is
Right.
out there running with them now. I've
Right.
known them for a long time, and it looks like a very fun class, kind of like the truck class.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I think so. The rules are pretty vague, but that's by design. I think they just kind of let this class evolve into
Yes,
something.
well, it's getting bigger and bigger from what I see.
Yeah, it is. I think we've had 20, as many as 20 cars there.
That's a good count.
It is good. It is good. And I don't know. There's probably been 40 or so different drivers. I don't know if they're driving the same car. You know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, it's good. It's good. And I've got a interest in little young Riker Hernandez Fireball number 55,
Yes.
uh, which is a Camaro with a Dodge Challenger body hung on it, running my motor.
He's going to be a good one that's coming up. That's for sure.
Well, we chased. Not that this show's about me, but anyway, we chased motor problems, carburetor problems, ignition problems, all kinds of stupid crap for the first 5 or 6 races, and I think we finally stumbled upon it. We finally figured out what the problem was, or problems were, probably a combination of things. And the last 2 nights out, that car is fast.
That's
That
good.
car is quick. I mean, he finished second place 2 races ago, and he was running a strong second and third with AJ and Howie Marks and Riker. The 3 of them racing really tight together. Riker was hanging in there. I mean, even AJ wasn't really running away with it too much. So it's a good, fun class, and I know you're familiar with the motor that's in that.
Yes.
So, but anyway,
It's a strong motor, that's for sure.
yeah, we sure didn't think so for the first 5 races, but yeah, she goes. It's a good
I
motor.
know when we were racing it in that sport mod, it kept up with the best of them.
I know. Yep, good motor. Well, Larry, we got off to a late start. We actually started on time, but then we got off to a late start due to my stupidity. Shit happens. Who you want to thank here, Larry? Who's helping you out? Who's behind you backing all this?
Well,
Anybody?
my biggest supporters are my wife and my family.
Yeah.
Without those guys, you know, I couldn't do all of this without them. You know,
Right.
we work so much, and when we get time, get off work, Nick and Michael will come over and we'll wash the car up, get it fixed, prep it, get it ready for the next race, and
Mm-hmm.
and those guys have been there for me, and you know, and I can't do it without, you know, sponsors. You know, we don't have a whole lot of sponsors. We're
Right.
forting most of it. You know, LNS Lawns and Irrigation,
Right.
but we do have a couple of smaller ones on board. You know, Mason Building Supply. They really helped me out a lot on this truck this year,
Right.
helping me with the metal and paint and stuff like that. Whatever I need, I give a shout out to Neil and Kevin on that, because
Mm-hmm.
if I need stuff, they tell me to get it.
Yep.
So they're a big part of my support, and of course, you know, we got some. My daughter, she's got her business going here, and I got to give a shout out to her, you know, because Puncher Grooming,
Mm-hmm.
and her husband, my son-in-law, with his tree service,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Horse Tree Service.
Yep. Very
So,
good.
I mean, it's a small family affair here. So, I mean, I'm hoping one of these days I can get my daughter in one of these trucks and see if she can fly around this track and really get into it like she wants to.
Yeah. Awesome. There you go. Hey, I don't remember if, I know we talked about this, but I don't remember if it was during this segment or the prior segment. Your background in racing, where you, how you started out, where you come from. Did we hit that in this segment?
We hit it in the last one too.
Okay. Tell us about your background, how you came up through to.
So, when I was growing up as a kid, my sister is the blame for all of this. She got me into this racing. Her and her ex-husband, they had a drag car, and she used to drag me to the drag strips there in North Carolina.
Okay.
And I guess it was all over from that point. It got me hook, line, and sinker. And so when we moved here to Texas after my dad passed away,
right,
we got down here to Texas, and I met a gentleman named Bruce Henson. Okay. And he raced the street stocks over at Longhorn Speedway. I think they were street stocks, or I think that's what they were called. I can't remember. It's been a while back.
Yeah.
But I got tangled up with those guys and started hanging out with them, working on the cars, and really got to enjoying the roundy round side of it. And I got really hooked on it. And I said, one of these days I'm going to own one of these guys. Yeah. And, being younger, I never thought that. I just said it, but I never dreamed that I would own my own race car. And he taught me a lot. Bruce is one of those guys. He can build anything.
Yeah.
And a heck of a gentleman. I mean, he taught me a lot about driving and setups and stuff like that. And right. His crew chief taught me a lot. I'm real thankful for those guys. They got me into it. And then one day, my cousin, Nick, he said, "Hey, I know where there's a race car for sale." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So we went and looked at it Sunday, and we came home with it.
Yeah.
So then here we are.
Yep.
We started with the street stocks, and
yep.
I actually owned the car. Bruce drove it for a little while and had fun with that. And then I hopped in it, and we started driving it, and we got fourth in the points that one year.
Yeah.
And had fun with that. And then we jumped into the trucks.
Yeah. Where'd you race, Larry?
Back over at Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. That was my home track for the street stocks.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm anxious to go back to that track, because I love the way I love the way it feels. Those guys do an amazing job. Like I said, all these promoters, they do an awesome job on every track that we go to.
Sure.
And they just don't get enough recognition for that in my book. They don't have to do this kind of stuff for us, but they do, because they love racing too.
Yep.
So,
yep. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, a lot of investment, a lot of hard work that goes on. Most of the fans don't see it. It's all done behind the scenes. It all looks great at showtime.
But it is, we as drivers, we get to see a lot of this stuff behind the scenes. And,
sure.
We, as much as we raced in the past and everything, Marianne and H has ran a lot of tracks back at,
mm-hmm.
in Austin when there were asphalt tracks, and I've known those guys from that point, when I was really young.
Yep.
And I've just grown up, and those guys are awesome. They've always been there for us. Whether some will say they won't, but
mm-hmm.
They're still here for us. They still have a track for us to race at.
Yep, they do, and they do a damn good job.
They really do.
In fact, I can't think of a promoter around here that doesn't do a damn good job.
That's exactly right.
You know?
Every track that we've gone to, and we've gone to a lot of tracks with the Texas Dirt Truck Series, and I love going to all the different tracks because no track is the same.
Yep.
And it really broadens your aspect of, I guess what I'm trying to say is every track is different, and at every moment it changes. So you have to beat that track.
Yep. Well, yeah. And I mean, it's one thing if you race at the same racetrack every week it's going to be different.
That's exactly right.
To begin with. So then if you add on, excuse me, on top of that, the fact that you're at a different racetrack every week or every time you guys go out. So now you got a whole new racetrack to figure out. Of course, the advantage perhaps that you have is that you don't know what that track was like the week before.
That's exactly right.
You weren't there.
It gives you a little bit more competition.
Yeah. So you're dealing with it fresh right out of the gate, and nothing to go by necessarily. I mean, you might have good notes from the last time you ran there, but who knows? Who knows what it was that night? So
always starting over from fresh.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's what the truck series is all about. Something different, something new. Everybody who in Texas doesn't like a truck, and
everybody drives one.
I know at 105. That's right. I'm watching a race on replay of that race, and when you guys took the checkered flag in the truck race, the crowd was going crazy.
It was really, I'm thankful that I was able to be a part of this Texas Dirt Truck Series, and I'm glad it's growing like it is.
Yep.
The guys are doing a great job. They're still, tweaking it, and of course, everybody is. Every series, every year they're changing things to make it more competitive.
Yep.
And I think this year by far has been the funnest year that I've been in the truck series because all the trucks are so competitive and close together.
Yeah.
We're racing each other like we should be racing each other. And
I think it took quite a while to figure these trucks out.
Yes.
Because they're basically new to everybody. And they've come a long ways. You're actually some damn good racing out there now.
Yeah, I like that side-by-side racing, that's for sure. And especially with this group of guys, because, man, I tell you what, they're good. These guys are good.
You think the number of events that you've got scheduled or that you've typically had scheduled, whether it's 12, 14, I'm not sure, but you think that's about right? Should you do more or less? What do you?
Well, you always got to count that. You're going to have rain outs like we are this coming week. I would like to see a few more races for sure. Of course, any racer is going to tell you, let's race every week.
Yeah.
I like that every other week because it gives you a little bit of a break.
Right.
And you can do more repairs and go over your trucks a little bit more.
Right.
But I like that every other week thing.
Yep. And how many races did you guys have scheduled this year?
I believe we had like 12 or 13 races.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And we've had a couple to cancel, because of rain and stuff like that. But
Yep. Well, very good, dude. I'm sorry about the 20-minute delay.
Oh, that's okay.
I guess it was good rehearsal for us. I'm learning this crap. What could I say?
I'm still learning in the truck too, man. So it's okay.
That's all good. That's all good. Okay, where are you next, Larry? You probably said, but where are you guys and when?
I believe. I'm not for sure, but I think we're back over at 37.
I-37 Speedway.
And then I think we're at Edna and then
Mhm.
Cotton Bowl is our last points race.
Okay. Yep.
Which I was looking forward to this South Texas one, because I really want to beat that track.
Mm-hmm.
We're fast on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the truck can win it, but
Yep. There you go.
I can't jump up in points if I can't race. So
How are you in how are you in points, Larry? How's the season
we're
points-wise?
running sixth in points right now. We're
That's
real
not
close
bad.
to fifth.
Mhm.
So I mean, of course, we missed a couple of races, like I said at the beginning of the year, and
Mhm.
with a little incident that we had,
Mhm.
and then missing a couple of these races, it makes it hard for us to catch up. But
Yeah.
it's okay. I joke around about that. We're as long as we can race and have fun, that's all I care about.
Yep. And I know you well enough to know that that's the God's honest truth. You have a lot
That
of fun no matter what
that
you
that
do.
championship, it's nice, but what's really nice is when you get out there and you see all them little cowboys and cowgirls out there,
Yeah.
and you see them kids out there just stuck watching and just can't move and just cheering us on. They love racing, period, and that's what keeps us going.
Yep. I know when I was a young fella, my mother or father or both sometimes. My father worked for the railroad, so he was gone a lot. But every Saturday night, a little local dirt track. And like I said, I was 8, 9 years old, I guess, at the time. But these drivers they were kings to me. They were just
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, it was just definitely impressive as hell as a kid. I just,
Yeah. And I sitting back thinking about a lot of this, where, I was telling you earlier, I never thought I would own my own race truck or race car.
yeah.
I was one of them kids that sat up there in the stand,
Mm-hmm.
even past kid. I was, in
Mm-hmm.
my teens and adulthood going, man, one of these days I'd love to own one of those race cars and be out there with these guys.
Yep.
And,
Yep. It was a dream of mine. I never got behind the wheel because, well, I could never afford to buy a race car. And certainly ain't nobody going to let me drive theirs. So that's the way it
it's
went, but
when you get in it, it's hard to get out of it. That's for sure.
tell me about it. Yeah.
It's a really, like I said, especially when you get into a series or you get to go into these tracks, for instance, like Cotton Bowl or 37 or South Texas, you race with these guys enough, everybody there, and they're like family too.
Yes.
As soon as you pull up, they ask how you're doing and if you need anything, and of course, then you go out there and you see all these kids in the stands yelling your name and everything.
Yeah, it's
And
cool.
that's what grabs your heartstrings right there is when those kids yell at you like they were doing at 105. And that's why I keep doing it. It's all because of them.
You're setting a good example too, Larry, and that's important. That's
Well,
important.
I'm hoping, all them kids out there that are in those grandstands that's wanting and wishing and dreaming about this, keep that dream because that's our future of racing.
That's it.
So
Absolutely. All right, Larry. That's a good note to end on. If you're ready to pack it in, you got anything else you want to talk about? Certainly can do that. It's your show. Are you good? Or you want to?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you
Right.
asking me to come on, and I enjoy sitting and talking with you and everybody else, and
Yeah.
I do
Great.
appreciate it.
Great to have you, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on, Larry. It's always good to talk to you.
Yes,
And
sir. Likewise.
we'll catch you the next one, wherever that happens to be. Probably 37. But
I'll see you there for sure, buddy.
sure. All right, Larry. Thank you very, very much, bud. Take care and good luck and have fun.
Thank you. God bless y'all.
You too. Thanks, Larry. Bye. Well, that was good. I really apologize, folks. I was 20 minutes into this show and somebody commented and asked when it was going to start. So, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm learning. Anyway, great conversation. Great guy. I've known Larry for quite some time now, and he drove a car for me for a while, and he's always there when you need him. He's a good guy, and there's lots of good people around here in this sport. So I guess that's about it. We'll catch you next Thursday night. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, my apologies for screwing this thing up, but hopefully that's chalk that one up to experience, and I won't do it again. Later, folks. Thank you. Have a good week. See you at the track.